Okay, hello everybody. This is David Traylor of the Traylor Law Firm, and I've looked through some videos online of attorneys talking about legal issues, and I've concluded the last thing we need is another boring video of a lawyer in his office where you see his talking head, and it's just dull and boring. And so you're going to get a video that's otherwise dull and boring, but with a little color and a little background noise from children playing. So let's get started. Today I'm going to talk about probation violations, and specifically, since I'm in Dallas County, we're going to talk about probation violations as it relates to Dallas and the surrounding areas. Now, probation violations are something where a lawyer can make a big difference in keeping you out of custody or minimizing your time in custody, because especially on probation violations in felony court, they're going to put a warrant out for your arrest, and there won't be a bond set on that warrant. And when you get arrested and booked in and arraigned, the magistrate, when they come to your case, is not going to set a bond on that. So what you're going to have to do is get to the court. If you're arrested on a weekend, you're going to have to wait all weekend. If you're arrested out of county, you're going to have to not only wait all weekend, but you're going to have to wait till you get transferred to the county where the probation is, and then you're going to have to see the judge in that court that your case is out of, unless you get a lawyer involved. But even if you get a lawyer involved, the lawyer can only do things when the court's open. So it's really, I know I've had clients that have waited and buried their head and, laid low and tried to avoid their warrant for a long time, some of them very successfully. And sometimes that can work out really well. It shouldn't, but sometimes it does. I don't recommend that. What I do recommend is call me and talk to me about your situation, and I'll tell you what your options are. And bottom line is, that is one of the options. Is if you can swing it, laying low is one of the options. If you can do it, if you can stay out of custody, it's not necessarily going to be the recommended option, but it is something. It is, it's just like anything else. You have the choice to do some good things and some bad things, and that would be something the court would consider to be bad. But if you do that, and then we get to the other end, and you get arrested on your probation violation warrant, then we have to deal with the consequences. We have to go from there. I have to work with what I'm given. So I can't change what came before me. What I can try to do is improve the outcome. That's my entire job, is to improve the outcome for my clients. So so it's typically better, especially if you've talked to me and I think there's something we can do. It's typically better to go ahead and handle this thing before you get arrested. I did one today where the client has a warrant out right now, and he called me and told me what was going on, that he had a warrant, and I said, all right, bring me this much money and I'll see what I can do. And so he hired me last week, and today I went to court and got his probation discharged. So probably, since it's 6 p.m. now and I just did this 2 hours ago, there's a good chance the clerks didn't have a chance to process this stuff all today. So he may still have a warrant now, but tomorrow he won't. So as long as he doesn't get arrested tonight, he's going to be free and clear tomorrow. Won't have to worry about this probation ever again. And that's a lot better than just waiting and ducking and dodging until finally they get you and then calling me. We probably would have gotten the same result, but it would have been at the cost of him being arrested and not free for however long it took to get him clear. And that could take days, especially if he gets arrested on the weekend. It could take days, sometimes weeks, depending on the circumstances. So I think it's better to get someone, at least talk to someone up front and see what your options are, and then consider whether you want to hire someone like me to go in and negotiate on your behalf. I won't get into too many of the specifics. I think a lot of y'all are pros at this because you've been through it before, and then some of y'all are pretty green on it and need a lot more kind of advice and hand-holding. But even for those of you that have been through it before, don't give up hope. If you think that you know what your outcome's going to be and you're worried about it, don't prejudge things, because you never know. And there's a lot that can be done on these probations. One thing that some of you might realize, or some of you might not realize, is that probation, there's a little bit of give on these things. Usually you can mess up in some little ways multiple times before they get fed up and put a warrant out. generally, the bigger ways you can mess up, you can't do more than one or two of those before they put a warrant out. Like getting a new case, especially if you get a new big case or a case of the exact same kind that you're on probation for. So, and I always like to tell people there are tools that probation has to use to try to get people back in line, get them in compliance again. And it's kind of like a tool belt. And once they've run through all those tools on you in particular, and they feel like we don't have any more tools we can use, that's when you're in danger of going to prison or going to jail for a period of time. I'm doing a video for people who have probation violations. Yeah. So you're going to get a co-star role now. Oh, gosh. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. My baby just rolled off her mat. So call if you have any questions about this stuff. It's one of my favorite things to do to help people on.